17,000 years. That's how long the Blade of Ascension had hung in silence, suspended in a storm of violet energy, waiting for a hand worthy enough to claim it. The strongest warlords, the fiercest species in the galaxy, every one of them had failed. The blade crushed armor, shattered machines, and mocked the very idea of strength. But then a single human stepped forward. No exosuit, no ceremony. She caught the sword as if it were nothing, whispered one phrase, and changed everything. If that opening already gave you chills, you're in the right place. This is a story where humanity doesn't just survive, it rewrites the rules of the galaxy. If you enjoy these legendary, humans are special sci-fi tales, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with a friend who loves a good twist. Now let's dive into the mystery of the sword no one else could lift. The Temple of Eternal Vigil had watched over the galaxy longer than most civilizations had even existed. Its black stone walls rose like a mountain, carved with symbols older than memory, glowing faintly as if the past itself was alive within them. Inside, the air thrummed with energy. The heart of the temple held the artifact that had haunted warriors, scholars, and kings for 17,000 cycles, the Blade of Ascension. Suspended in a cage of crackling violet light, the sword was no ordinary relic. Every attempt to claim it ended the same way: shattered machines, broken exoframes, and warriors crushed under its impossible weight. The strongest of the Forgath, a species known for lifting starship hulls bare-handed, had tried and failed. Even the Thayaxari, masters of gravity manipulation, could not budge it. The blade did not simply resist, it pressed back, as if rejecting all who reached for it. Yet, despite its silence, the weapon whispered across history. Prophecies spoke of one who could wield it, not with brute force, but with something else. Something no one had ever truly understood. And on this day, another attempt was about to unfold. Bella had not come to the temple to lift a sword. Officially, she was only there as a diplomatic escort, an observer, a human representative still seen as the new kid in galactic politics. While the other species wore ceremonial armor or carried advanced scanning equipment, Bella leaned casually against the carved doorway, her dark hair tied back, her uniform looking almost too simple for a place so sacred. To most of the council races, humans were curiosities, clever, adaptable, but weak. A Thayaxari warrior scholar named Ket had spent decades studying the blade, and even he, with his armored exoskeleton and centuries of wisdom, had failed. His frustration showed in the way his mandibles clicked as he logged yet another failed reading into his crystal. Bella, however, wasn't watching the numbers. She was watching the words, ancient inscriptions etched into the obsidian walls. Where others saw prophecy, she saw language, and something about the translation didn't sit right. "The blade doesn't say it weighs beyond measure," she murmured to Ket. "It says it presses beyond measure. That's not the same thing." Ket dismissed her with a wave of irritation. To him, humans were fragile amateurs. But Bella's eyes lingered on the sword, curiosity burning. Ket's mandibles clicked in disbelief. "You cannot be serious. Every species stronger than yours has failed. What chance do you think humans have?" Bella smirked, stepping closer to the containment field. "Maybe that's the problem. Everyone's been thinking about strength." The blade hovered inside its cage of violet energy, its surface swallowing light rather than reflecting it. It radiated a silent defiance, as if daring anyone to reach for it. Bella studied the control panel. Lines of alien code danced before her, but she tapped with a casual confidence that made Ket's secondary eyes narrow in alarm. "Wait, what are you doing?" he snapped. "Finding out if your sacred weapon cares more about muscle or intention," Bella replied. The violet field shuddered, humming like thunder in reverse. With a sound that rippled through the ancient walls, the energy dissolved. For the first time in 17,000 years, the blade hung exposed, unsupported. It began to fall. Ket staggered forward in panic, but Bella didn't hesitate. She stepped into the silence and caught the hilt in one smooth motion. The weapon settled into her hand as if it had been waiting. She smiled faintly. Light as always. The chamber froze. Even the constant hum of the temple's energy cores seemed to stop, holding its breath as Bella lifted the blade with ease. Ket's forearms twitched uselessly, his mandibles clattering in shock. Impossible. The gravitational readings. Your bones should be dust. Bella turned the sword slowly, marveling at how it cut through the air like a whisper. Its edge shimmered with a darkness so sharp, it seemed to slice reality itself. Yet in her grip, it felt ordinary, familiar. "We've been measuring resistance, not weight," she said quietly. "This isn't about force. It's about rejection. The blade wasn't testing strength. It was testing intent." Ket blinked, his scholar's mind racing. "Intent? You mean it chooses?" Bella nodded. "Every warrior came here with conquest in mind. They saw a weapon to dominate the galaxy. But humans? We're different. We can hold power without letting it own us. We domesticated wolves not by breaking them, but by being their partners." Her voice softened, yet carried across the chamber. "The precursors didn't want a king or a tyrant. They wanted someone who knew that strength isn't tea about holding on. It's about knowing when to let go." Bella lowered her gaze to the blade, then, without hesitation, placed it gently onto the altar. The moment her hand released it, the sword sank back into its prison of gravity, pressing down with such force that cracks spread across the stone surface. The chamber groaned, as though the weapon itself was sighing in disappointment at being untouched again. Ket stared at her, awe replacing his skepticism. You could have kept it. The prophecy spoke of the bearer reshaping the galaxy." Bella dusted off her hands with a grin. "Maybe that's the point. Sometimes the greatest power isn't using the weapon, it's choosing not to." Her words echoed through the temple, carrying a strange kind of defiance and humility all at once. Humanity, the youngest species in the council, had just shown what the oldest ones could not. Restraint. Ket's mandibles clicked in a sound caught between laughter and disbelief. "The council will have questions." "Let them ask," Bella replied, already walking toward the exit. She paused, glancing back at the sword. "But maybe leave out the part where I made it look easy. No need to scare everyone just yet." The blade waited once more, silent, patient, and changed. And there you have it. The day humanity picked up the galaxy's most impossible weapon and proved that true strength isn't always about muscle or domination. It's about choice, about knowing when to wield power and when to set it down. If this story left you thinking, "Wow, humans really are the wild cards of the galaxy," then hit that like button to support more HFY stories. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to catch the next tale of humanity rewriting the rules of the stars. And hey, drop a comment. Do you think humans would really put the sword back? Or would curiosity get the better of us? Until next time, stay legendary.